All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of streaming here at New to Retro Reviews. And tonight, as you guys can tell, we are ranking the top 10 arcade games of all time. Mainly like my top 10 arcade games. And this is going to be an interesting one. Now, the thing about this is, and how this works, is when we rank these, it's only going to be actual arcade machines. It's not going to be pinball, and it's not going to be fighting games, because those ones deserve their own video personally and list, because they're like, because arcade machines, and then ones like like with fighting games, and also things with pinball machines. They're video games, but they're different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, I could literally do a list on arcade ticket machines. Like whenever you would go to like those places, and they would, you'd have to throw the ball at the clowns. It's like a row of 9 of them, and you can throw the ball at them, or the one where you shoot the skeet ball at the targets and everything. And then obviously you've got basketball ones, and like that one where the light goes around and you have to stop it dead like right in front of you. Like those ones all deserve their own list. So we'll be doing those at one point. So, yo, Ninja and Oscar and J-Ram, what's going on, guys? Thanks for coming by. So yeah, we'll be playing those, and then we'll be playing some games later on after the list, obviously. But yeah, so that's essentially how we're breaking it down. There will be one for fighting games, because the thing of it is, like, for me personally, being a guy who is obsessed with fighting games, this list would probably be 80% fighting games. So there's that. But I thank you guys for joining me. It's been a while since I streamed. It's just been kind of a very busy and down kind of week. I've been battling a lot of depression, unfortunately, and it sucks. So like a lot of things just going on right now. But I needed to get the energy and stream for you guys. I wasn't in the mood to like stream Breath of Fire, but we will be playing that on Monday night. So I'll be back streaming then, and we'll play that, and we'll have a blast. So yeah. So like I said, we always just wait for a few minutes here. We just let people pile in. And the shelf might look a little different. It might be hard to tell and everything like that, but I reorganized the entire shelf the other night when I couldn't sleep. Yo, Seth, what's going on, dude? And so yeah, like everything here has been like changed up a little bit. Like obviously, like I added some more. If you go back and look at other streams, you will see that the Switch titles were like a lot smaller. There weren't as many. And I got all my new PS5 titles up here, and like they stop around, I think like right here they stop, because then it goes into like right here. Then you go into like the PS4 section and everything. That one's pretty long, and then you get down to the PS3, and then like you start with PS2, and then like there's more stuff back here. Actually, funny enough, this small little wait a minute. Yeah, that one. What was it? Yeah, it's like this small little batch right here, that's just Xbox One games. I don't have a lot. I swear to God, like out of all the systems I own, I think the Xbox One might be my least collected system. Because like Xbox One, I got it back in the day. I think I got it not too long after it came out. I think it was almost like 6 months or something like that. And I really wanted it because I wanted to play Killer Instinct on it, right? But I didn't want to pay for it, so my buddy was selling his. Now the weird thing is, this guy was a hardcore Xbox guy, not really a Sony guy in any way, shape, or form. Never had a Sony console. His brother had like a PS1, but he sold me his Xbox and then bought a PlayStation 4. So I think a lot of people during that era were really pissed off about Microsoft and how things were being handled. I mean, fast forward all these years later, look where we're at now. The modern we call it there, Microsoft is not good, really isn't. So but like I had fun reorganizing all that. And of course there's my other shelf over here. This one right up here, it's like all PlayStation 1 games, Dreamcast games, boxed NES, Super Nintendo, and N64 games, boxed Game Boy games as well. So that's what makes up that shelf. And there's another shelf right behind my desk that has all my PSP, Wii U, and Vita games in there. So yeah, like what I want to do is I want to get this all like taken down essentially. Like I need new shelves. I'm trying to find something to build me a new gaming shelf, and nobody's out there will do it. And so this wall over here is where my bed is, but I plan on moving my shit into the other room, and that way it frees up that wall. And that wall behind me will be over here, or at least the new shelf will be. And it's going to be floor to ceiling, because you guys can't see it, but this is the top shelf right here. Like, this is the top shelf, and right above that is where I store a lot of my figures, and, like, when I used to collect Funko Pops. And I wasn't really, like, a big Funko Pop guy. I only ever collected from things I truly enjoyed. So the only ones I really have are, like, Street Fighter, Power Rangers. I got gifted some by people, too, you know, because Funko Pop's always made for good gifts for a lot of people. And, what was the other one I really collected for? I don't really remember. But yeah. Oh, and Resident Evil, of course. So yeah. So like there's a whole nother space for games to be up there, but there's not another shelf aspect of it. You can only put stuff up there. If I put games up there, they'd be falling off. There's nothing holding them in place. So that's hopefully something I can get done this year. I'm really hoping that I can. We will see. We will see what happens. But either way. Thank you guys for coming in, though. Like, I'm really excited to have you all here. This is going to be a fun one to do, because obviously this channel is built upon, nostalgia, memories from my childhood, from the 80s and 90s, the things that were there, and this was one of them. This was one of them that I thought to do. And I saw Maximilian had did this with his buddies last night and everything, and that's what got me thinking about doing this. I want to do it for, like, console games, but the thing is, like, what I do with these, and if you guys don't know, if I decide to do these things live, I take the portion that we do where we actually talk about the games, and I put videos of said games there. But if I play later games, like, I don't know, let's say like PlayStation 3 and 4 games for certain ones of them, I want to get a lot of decent footage, and those games take, and later games in like PS3, PS4 era, they took a while to get going in certain aspects. So the best parts are, not, you got to, play like 12 hours to get that. My brain is lazy and doesn't want to do that shit half the time. That's why it's easier to review games on retro consoles. But we'll get there, We'll get there. I hate how YouTube displays the name. It sucks. Well, like, can't you change it now? I thought JJ said on the stream that you could change it now. At least that's what I thought he said. Well, either way, we're going to have a good time tonight. I'm really excited about this. Like I said, I'll be more excited to play Breath of Fire 3 for you guys tomorrow night, because that was getting good. We played like friggin', I think, 7-8 hours of it last time. I was really shocked. I was honestly shocked that, people really enjoyed that for that long. Like me, I mean, it just kept going. Like, sometimes when you play games you truly know and love, it doesn't feel like you're really streaming like long hours. It just kind of goes by, That's how I've always felt. Anyway. All right then. So I guess we've chatted enough and everything like that. Let's get to the nitty gritty of all this, shall we? So obviously, I'll switch it right over. So there we go, guys. Actually, let me do. There we go. Let me increase this a little bit. There we go. All right. So, as you can see, we have the list right here, and so as you can see, we have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're also including some honorable mentions. There's, I think, about 32 games that I chose. And I chose games that really meant something to me. Ones that I put a lot of quarters in back in the day, Oh, no shit, Ninja. Oh, I'm glad you can see it. I mean, you can always rewatch the streams, because that's what I love about YouTube more than I do Twitch, because Twitch doesn't let you keep vlogs anymore. Like, the things get deleted after a while, and it's friggin' stupid. But big time streamers get to keep all their streams from past years. I think it's really stupid. So that's what I love about YouTube. It starts as a stream and then ends up as like a video that you can watch afterwards. So there's that. hell was that? Oh, the plows again. Yeah, we got snow here. Wasn't really even that bad, to be honest. So anyway, so let's get this done, shall we? Let's start this up. And with this is there's gonna be a lot of memories here. I'm gonna start off with ones that like are essentially the honorable mentions, and this is gonna be tough. And these things are subject to change too. That's the thing you gotta remember. They are subject to change. So, and like again, this is all the stuff that like I played religiously or played a lot of or a fair amount of, right? And for honorable mention, I'm gonna go with the first one being, the original Donkey Kong arcade. Now, I'm not talking about the arcade cabinet for Donkey Kong. I'm talking about the cocktail table one. Now, if you don't know, what do you call it? If you don't know what a cocktail table is for arcade machines, it's literally a table that you sit down at. It's got a glass screen over it. You can put your drinks on it and everything, and you're playing arcade games. And me and my cousins, the only arcade that we ever went to really was like Chuck E. Cheese, right? So down the street from my cousin's house, there was a, we go past the ball field and there's an Elks Club. If you don't know what an Elks Club is, it's like a what do you call it there? A men's social club where people go, smoke cigars, smoke cigarettes, play cards, poker, all that kind of stuff. They shoot horseshoes outside. They shoot pool. They go on trips and everything like that. That kind of stuff, right? And my uncle was a member, and he was a bartender. So he worked in the club area. And since, shockingly, we weren't annoying kids, we were allowed to come and visit. So we would walk down the street. Like I said, it was like a 5-minute walk right down the road from their house. You could literally see their house from the Elks Club. And we would go up there. We'd knock on the door because you can't get in without a key card. We didn't have one. So anybody that was there would open it up. Yeah, like Flintstone's Water Buffalo Club. Exactly, my dude. So yeah, we went in, and they had the arcade cabinet there, and I had never seen anything like this because I was like 4 at the time, 4 or 5 years old. So we had the machine sent to it was set to free, so everybody could play. You never had to put quarters in, and me and my cousins all just like went crazy on that thing, trying to outdo our scores. We'd borrow napkins and stuff and pens and like write down our scores to keep them, even though they were kept there and stuff. But I think we also did to like kind of beat our own scores too. And obviously the original Donkey Kong doesn't have that many levels, but for when it came out in its time, it was really good, and it's still kind of like a fun thing to play this day and age. It holds up in terms of its controls, honestly. Graphics, obviously, maybe not to a lot of people, but yeah, this one gets an honorable mention. It's not in my top 10, but we played it a lot, and it means a lot. And my uncle, he passed away about 5-6 years ago now during COVID and everything. So, like all the more reason why like this kind of like means a little bit more. It's like it's a real big piece of my early childhood with gaming and arcades. Yeah, Stun Runner. Honorable mention. So this one I played at Chuck E. Cheese for years. My cousins and I would go there once in a while, and we would play these games, and they had Stun Runner there. And Stun Runner is this game where you sit on this kind of almost like a bike, you lean forward, and you've got a wheel with blasters on it, and like you turn it left and right, and you're going through these tubes, like this futuristic world, but it kind of looks like the Special Zone from Sonic 2, where he and Tails are running through the hoops, through the pipe, trying to get all the rings, the cast emerald. That's kind of like this. And as you progress through the levels, you get more things added to your runner, and you get blasters, so you can shoot the enemies. You can go all around. You can spin out. It was such a fun game. And here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Loved this game. And then when we stopped going to Chuck E. Cheese, I never saw Stun Runner anywhere else. Stun Runner was nowhere to be found. And I was devastated because I really did truly love this game. I did really love it. And, for me, it was hard to lose something like that. But then a few years ago, when Beggy and I, before we went up to Row, we stopped at Galloping Ghost Arcade out there in Illinois, and I always wanted to go to this place. I heard nothing but great things about it. It's the biggest arcade in the world. As my boat. My friends Brad and Natty were there with us too, and we were there for a couple hours. And this place is huge. Galloping Ghost Arcade, if you guys have never been, is a massive arcade. Like it's literally like a massive building, like with extra places put in to put more arcade machines. It's just absolutely insane. So I eventually found Stun Runner as we were leaving. I remember Maddie was right next to me, and I was like, oh my god. She's like, what? I was like, I haven't played this game in like 30 something years. Like I have to play this before we go. And it was almost like time had never passed. Time had never passed. It was unbelievable. I absolutely loved it. It was incredible. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to keep my ass glued to that seat because that game meant a lot to me, because it didn't play a lot of games like that, you know. So you know, that's on there. Next one is definitely Outrun. Outrun, I remember my dad and I playing this a lot in the arcades. It was really fun. It was like the best. It was like, honestly, for me, like one of the best racers that I played. You know, obviously, like, you know, like Daytona and Cruis'n USA were really good. I really love Cruis'n USA. But Outrun, I think, was like the first one that I ever actually really played. So it just, you know, it was just a fun game. Graphically, it looked great. It was really fast. It was really a fast fucking game. You know, and you know, like I mean, I don't know if you guys have played Outrun, but if you've played it, you understand what I'm saying. Outrun is just a fun little classic, and I think it made its way to home consoles at one point, which is really good. But if I remember correctly, I think it did. I think I played it on the Genesis, if I remember correctly. But ultimately, yeah, Outrun, another honorable mention right there. Let's see. Yeah, Gauntlet Legends, another one, because I played more of Gauntlet on the consoles with friends, but I have played it in the arcades. And I remember like our buddy Joey was there, Josh was there, and I think Corey was there too. Maybe he was there, or maybe it was Stick. But it was at this like laser tag place that had an arcade. And every time we went to this laser tag place, we would play Gauntlet, and it was just so fun having this experience, because I remember playing, you know, Gauntlet on the NES. And then seeing that there was arcade versions of it and everything. Because I didn't know there was like a regular, the Gauntlet NES we were playing was actually an arcade game. I didn't know that. So Gauntlet, obviously, if you guys don't know what it is, you play as a different class of characters. You scroll through dungeons. You fight a wave of enemies. You find keys and other stuff to power you up and get you through the level. Now, we're actually going to be playing that at one point here on the channel. We're going to do the new Gauntlet game that came out on Steam a while back. I bought it for Proxy and Baz and Burger, and we're all going to play it. So I'm excited for that. Really excited for that. So yeah, but like I said, it's not enough to make my top 10 list, but it's one that deserves an honorable mention. NFL Blitz. Now, Blitz was one of those ones I didn't see that often in arcades whenever I visited like an arcade, if ever I stopped and saw one. But I did play it a handful of times and really enjoyed playing with like strangers and, you know, everybody like playing against the computer and shit, you know, or it was fun. I played more of it on the consoles with Stick and Danny and Brian and everything all throughout the years for the, you know, PS1 era, N64, you know, that kind of stuff. So that's why it deserves an honorable mention here. But NFL Blitz is honestly one of the greatest sports games ever made. And I went to my buddy's birthday a couple of years ago at this arcade down in Rhode Island, and it was really neat. It was really neat to like see that there, and I just put myself in front of it and I played it, and it was like, you know, again, flashback. It was awesome. Kids today have no idea how awesome arcades were. Love the summer and winter vacation routines. Few hours at the arcade, then cinema. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, Warner, like, you get it, man. Like, yeah, kids really don't understand. They can only fathom, and like most arcade places now are just ticket machines. There's no actual arcade machine per se. It's all ticket winnings and stuff. They're all probably rigged even more than they were back in the 90s. All right, so let's see. Another one. I'm trying to think here. So we'll start going like down the list for these things, and okay, so because it's iconic, and I did play a lot of it back in the day, and I was hooked on it, you know, because the idea of it was a simple idea, and it was prominent for years and still is to this day. The character is still alive and still making games. Number 10 goes to Pac-Man. Nothing else really needs to be said. It's Pac-Man. He's an icon like Mario and Sonic. He's known around the world. And his games have always been fun. And you look at something like Miss Pac-Man when that came out, and it's just Pac-Man with a bow. I remember like one of my friends, she said, yeah, it's just Pac-Man and drag is what it is. And I'm like, what the fuck? But virtually any kind of Pac-Man game you play. I mean, like I played things like Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures on Super Nintendo, and I love that game. You know, Pac-Man World, love that. And there's a Pac-Man game on the Xbox One that is an insane game. I can't remember what it's called. Like I think it's like Pac-Man DX or something. And it's got like a bunch of different levels, different rules, unlockables and stuff. It was really fun. But yeah, Pac-Man obviously set the standard for a lot of like things to draw people to an arcade. Everybody just loves seeing this little, like, you know, yellow ball just going around eating pellets and chomping on ghosts. You know, simple things back in the day because, you know, arcades were a very simple time. And that's what made games. Like, some games could be simple and just work out very well, you know? I think that's great. I honestly think that's great. So, yeah, Pac-Man is at number 10. Let's see. I will put... No. This is tough. This is tough. So I'm going to put the Jurassic Park arcade game... No. Yes. The Lost World Jurassic Park. I played this a lot with my dad, and I played it a lot by myself when I got older, when it was still around. And, you know, just taking both guns and being in that machine and just dual wielding and just start fucking blasting. You know, that game was an insane game to play. And, you know, when the scope settings were not like, where you didn't have to, like, you know, aiming forward didn't mean shit. You had to aim off to the side in order to aim forward because, you know, the calibration was off. But this was a great game. I absolutely love this game. And it is just, it's so fun. Again, light gun games, you're going to see them on this list a lot because those were a big part of my childhood. And just trying to get, like, better accuracy and play these things was insane. Like, you know, for on-rail games like it is, it's a blast. I'm sure many of you have probably played this. You've seen it in movie theaters. It was very prominent in movie theaters, to be honest. I thought that was weird. But yeah, that one goes to number 9. I'm going to say... Let's see here. Oh, I switched over the wrong thing. Oh, shit. I got to switch back. Okay. Hold on a sec. Wait. Okay. I get you. All right. So there's one that I'm having trouble seeing because it's so small. I'm trying to look at it. What is that? Oh! That one. You know what? That's actually the next one we're going to put in. This one right here. Gunblade. This game, if you guys ever saw it in the arcade, the guns were like the size of the, what was it called? The pulse rifle from Alien, or Aliens and everything. And screen was massive. Machine was massive. And you were going through on a gunship, like a helicopter. You're flying through like LA, and like there's like another one for like New York and stuff. And the machine would just start rattling off. You know, so as you can see, yeah, like right here. You see it right here. And so the gun would just start like rattling, and like the thing is, you never really got tired because as much as it fired like a real gun, it wasn't like a heavy shock that would tire your muscles out. I think the only thing that got tired was your fingers, because the way to make the gun fire was it's almost kind of like an ID lock from Metal Gear, or that gun from Casino Royale, or no, what was it? It was Skyfall, where you put your fingers at the front of the gun. There's 2 sensors on the side. You hold it like this, and you hold the gun in the back where the trigger is like that. And it'll sense, I guess, like your heat pattern, and then that's when you can fire. And you're flying around, you're trying to shoot all the enemies. They're all like cyborg enemies, and like you can juggle them in the air. You know, you and a partner playing it, because it's unfortunately it's a game you can't play by yourself, just holding 2 guns and feeling like a badass. You had to, like, you know, because you have to hold your fingers there to activate it, so you had to play with somebody else. And my dad would play with me. He's pretty good at it, and we're just juggling enemies in the air, shooting down missiles. It is one of those games that when you saw it in an arcade, you just beeline for it, because those guns were huge, and it just, like I said, the guns actually like moving as you shot them, and the intensity of the game, just insane. Insane arcade action, man. It's true. It's insane arcade action. The next one we're going to put up here is Virtua Cop. This is one of my favorite light gun games of all time, and I played a lot of this with my cousins back in the day, and this was the one that a lot of people loved. I know people love Virtua Cop 2, and I do as well. I really did enjoy that, but I had to choose between the two, and Virtua Cop comes in at number 1 for the choice anyway, but it's at number 7. But I loved this game so much, right, chat? Like, this game, God, just the idea of what it was, and the light guns and how responsive, and the, you know, enemies running through places and trying to shoot them as they're sneaking away, trying not to shoot the civilian. It was really like, you know, again, it was a lot like the what do you call it there? It's the Polygon era. So a lot of people will see it in this day and age and be like, oh, it doesn't look that good. No, dude, this shit was great. This was high octane shooting. The levels were amazing. It felt like right out of a 80s, 90s cop action series, which is actually another game on this list that's really more like that. But Virtua Cop has a very special place in my heart. And I did have the chance to get a Virtua Cop cab at one point. But when I went to pick it up and I really saw the condition that it was in, the machine itself was in great condition, but the screen was starting to fade. I didn't know how to like really repair those and fix those, and the trigger on the second player didn't really work that well. Again, didn't know how to repair those, so I told the guy no, especially since he was asking like $800 for it. This was back in like 2011, I think, 2012, if I'm remembering right. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, dude. This thing barely works. You want that much money for it? Like, get out of here. So, you know, Virtua Cop, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Next one on the list. We're going to go with NBA Jam. It's NBA Jam. What do I got to say about this? This is one of the best sports games that has ever been made. Now, like I said, I love NFL Blitz probably a little bit more than I do NBA Jam, right? Because I'm more of a football guy than I am a basketball guy. However, NBA Jam was one of those nail-biting games that you played in the arcade with people. Like, you really got into it. And then when you brought the experience home to, like, the Sega and the Super Nintendo and the PS1, and you're playing with your buddies, you know, and you're all just going crazy and everything like that. You know, you're just talking about, you know, trash talking one another, and all the stuff is like, he's heating up from downtown. And then you hear things like this. Boom shakalaka! You know, you just get hype. It builds so much hype and everything like that. And, you know, you're using real players of the time period. You're running on the courts. You're just trying to beat anybody who, like, crosses you. Or you're teaming up with a buddy to team up against other strangers. NBA Jam just brought the hype when it came to this type of games. And again, them coming to home consoles was one of the best things they could do to keep the franchise alive back then. Just so much fun, man. So much fun. You gotta love that stuff, right? Yeah, J-Ram, you could play as Bill Clinton. In later games, I think you could play as Barack Obama, too, if I remember correctly. But I mean, it was the 90s. Bill Clinton was like a big deal in the 90s for him speaking out against like video games and stuff like that. So I think that's like why they put him in there. I don't know how they didn't get sued. Maybe nobody knew about it. But, you know, things travel differently back in the 90s than they do for information now in modern era, right? So, yeah, we got that one. I'm also going to put up here next Number 5, the X-Men arcade game. The X-Men arcade game is a beautiful game. A lot of characters to choose from. Me and the guys were being at the Dream Machine. It'd be like one of the final machines we played before we left. And this arcade was big, right? And for whatever reason, they only had, at the time, 2 change machines in the front. They didn't have them anywhere else. Years later, they added them to the back when they added more machines. But the X-Men arcade game was back there, and, you know, I loved the X-Men cartoon show, and this game was actually made, if I remember correctly, the X-Men arcade game was made for an X-Men series that I think didn't happen. Like, there was a pilot for it, but it didn't get picked up. And then, obviously, the X-Men that we know in the 90s was the one that was picked up. But there was this game and such, and people absolutely loved it. The bosses drained your quarters more than anything else. But we all had our characters we loved. Nobody ever argued over which character that they wanted to be. And I thought that was awesome. You know, I really thought that was cool. And, you know, because I was always Wolverine. Stick was Colossus. Danny was Storm. I remember that. Josh usually was Wolverine. And Brian would be Nightcrawler. And I think some people would switch off from Nightcrawler, like, and everything because, you know, because nobody wanted to be Dazzler or Cyclops, really. But, you know, we just had a great team and, like, all the stuff that you could, like, do. And the game's got a lot of memes from it. You know, it's like Magneto, welcome to die and stuff, you know, and just a lot of the, like, great moments in it. Like, the fact that it's just, like, swarm of sentinels on the screen and these mud creatures and alien, like, bugs and stuff. And then you got to run the gauntlet of fighting all the bosses all over again. And, like, some of them, or if I remember correctly, all of them are together. It was great. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was based off a canceled show. It was the Shadowcat show. I thought it was... was it? Interesting. But yeah, it just, you know, to me, it was a great game. And then when it got put on the PlayStation 3, I was like, fuck, let's go, bro. I'm buying that shit. And I did. And I'm glad I did, because for whatever reason, they lost the licensing to that game. So it got taken. Now, if you downloaded it before, you can download it again, no problem. But still, it's very strange. Very strange that they lost the license and didn't re-up it. There's really no way to play the X-Men arcade game anymore at this point, unless you download like MAME or something like that. You know, whatever those emulators are through, you know, the illegal means and stuff. But, you know, I remember, like, also because Danny was the youngest out of all of us, and we'd be running out of lives or getting close to it, and we would yell at Danny. We'd be like, Danny, go get the fucking quarters. Go get the fucking quarters. And he's like, oh, I still got more lives. I don't want to go there. It's like, Danny, get the fucking quarters. Go, 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 go. We would just yell at him to go do it. We'd give him the money, and he'd run back to the machines and bring the quarters back to us. So, you know, it's it was good, like, good time, good memories. And the only other time, funny enough, the only other time I ever saw the X-Men arcade game was when I was at Galloping Ghost Arcade. That was the only other time I ever saw it. Like, I always started the Dream Machine. It was there for years. And then one day, gone. It was one of the oldest machines that lasted in that place and just gone one day, you know? So, yeah, that gets the number 5 spot. We got 4 spots left. This is going to be tough. So, I think the next spot, I'm going to give it to... I'm going to have to give this one to... Wait a minute, what's that one? Yeah, man, I don't even know what that one is. Hold on a sec. Let me get this up here for a second. Oh, yeah! That's what that one is. Okay. So, all right. Four spots left. This is really tough, guys. This is really tough. I'm going to have to give it to Die Hard Arcade. because I absolutely loved this game as a kid. Because it's Die Hard. It's Die Hard. How could I not love it? And I saw this again at Galvin Ghost Arcade a couple of years ago, and I was just so happy to see that thing again. And just playing it back in the day, being John McClane and just fighting terrorists with like brooms and rocket launchers and whatever else you could find, and beating them up and having those quick time events that were in the game, just magical, man. Die Hard Arcade is really something special. If you guys have not played that, the closest thing I could say, if you don't want to pay a lot of money for the Sega Saturn version, play the Dreamcast game, which is called Dynamite Cop, which is a clone of Die Hard Arcade, because I think it was supposed to be Die Hard Arcade 2, if I remember correctly, and they lost the license, so they couldn't use the Die Hard name, or they couldn't use John McClane's name either. So that's why he became, I think it was like Bruce Derringer or Bruce or Bruno Derringer, I think it was. And they just kept the look, but yeah. Yeah, I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah. I mean, it's Die Hard. You guys knew it was going to be on this list somewhere. All right, so we're down to 3. Now, this is where shit gets really tough. I'm going to have to give 3 to the Simpsons arcade game. Because the Simpsons arcade game is phenomenal. It is probably the best Simpsons game they ever made. I actually think I did a review on it on this channel when I first started it 13 years ago, or however long I've been doing this. And I mean, playing as every character, super unique, right? Super unique characters. Gameplay for them is all unique. And if you team up with a character, like if you and a friend stand next to each other, the two characters like join hands or whatever, like Marge and Homer like roll into a giant like ball and they roll over all the enemies. Bart and Lisa run around screaming, like running over all the enemies. I think Marge throws Bart and Lisa, and Homer like teams up with them, puts them on the shoulder, and they attack. But I don't think that the Homer one's really that great. But you know, it's great because you get to go through a bunch of levels from Springfield. You know, you get to go to some levels like, you know, Moe's Tavern, Channel 5 News, the power plant, all to find Maggie. You're out in the wild, and you know, you've got like a lot of people from Springfield are there at some point, like, you know, throughout, like in the background, and they're just there for a few seconds or whatever. And it's just a great game. And again, another arcade game that came to PS3, but it got taken out after like a year. It was only around for like a year, and I think that like Konami didn't re-up the license or whatever. So yeah, like it's just insane. It's such a fun game, whether you're playing by yourself or with 4 people. And because I still have it on my PS3, because even though like you can't buy the game, you can always re-download if you already did buy it. So really awesome game. And now we got 2 spots left. Second spot, I think I'm gonna have to give it to House of the Dead 2. House of the Dead 2, I played a lot of the first one at the Dream Machine, but when the second one came out, I couldn't believe how much more fun I had with that than the first one. And the first one's great. I love the original House of the Dead, but it's one of those situations where I feel that they really showed you what they could do with a sequel and how different they could make it while keeping it the same, you know. And there was the alternate path that you could take as well, that was included. The boss battles are insane and difficult, and it's a perfect game for a light gun. It really is. My buddy Randall and I, we played a lot of it on the Dreamcast back in the day, because he had 2 light guns for the Dreamcast, so we played that a lot. But I also did play a lot of it in the arcade. There's actually footage of me, and I'll put it up here, from years ago at a Dave and Buster's, and they had this game here. And some guy came by, he was leaving with like his kids, and they're like, yeah, we've got like an unlimited thing for the day and stuff, you know, obviously we're leaving, so you guys can have this if you want. Well, I'm like, holy shit. So, you know, I swiped into the machine, swiped again, so I had the 2 blasters, and then you got me being Dante from Devil May Cry. I'm doing like cross-ups and everything like that with the guns. I'm dual wielding, and I'm doing great. I was actually doing really good, but I'll tell you one thing, man. Dual wielding tires you out. Like, you feel it, like when you're like after your triggers, like you feel it all like in your wrists and everything. But House of the Dead was extremely violent and over the top and crazy. It was such a great game in that aspect, and I loved every moment of it in the arcade, and I would kill to have it as an arcade machine in my house. I won't buy the remake right now because that thing is fucking garbage looking. They really fucked up when they made that game. They really did. It was kind of a disappointment. Some people say that House of the Dead 4 is a lot better, and I'm trying to remember if I played that in the arcades. I know I've played 3 on the Xbox, but yeah, whatever. Ultimately, great game. And before we get to the number 1 listing, we got to go through the rest of the games we have for honorable mentions. So right now, yeah, Afterburner. Afterburner was one of the most fun experiences I had as a kid, because if you don't know what this is, Afterburner is a machine that you climb inside. And you fly a jet Harrier, and like you're flying through the air, you're shooting down enemies as they're coming at you, and you're going up and down, you're going back, like forth, right, left, all this kind of stuff, and the machine, it's just crazy. And I loved every second of it, being in that thing. My dad always loved how happy I was when I found that. Sadly, Dream Machine got rid of it. It was one of the biggest things that always bugged me, because I spent years in that machine and a lot of quarters on it too. But again, Galloping Ghost Arcade, they had this thing. They fucking had this thing, and I was like, oh my god. And Becky was like, what is it? I was like, hold on. I'm running down the aisle to it, and it wasn't working. It was out of order. But I still went inside of it, and I just felt so happy being in that thing again. It was really cramped, though. You could tell it was made for kids and not really adults, or at least bigger adults like me, because I'm 6'1", big shoulders, big guy and everything. So it was just great, though. For me, it was a really big part of my childhood to have that. And there was Afterburner on the Sega Genesis and everything, but it wasn't the same. You needed it. Or you need to sit in a chair and have your friends rock you back and forth, or as you pull up you're going up and everything. If you go down, they'll push your seat forward and stuff. Immersion kind of thing, right? Your friends would have to do that for you while you're playing on the Genesis. But such a good game. Let's see. Tumble Pop. Now I've only played this once, and it's kind of breaking the rule a little bit, because I had to play, like I said, I had to have a affinity for the game in a lot of ways and played it a lot. But Tumble Pop was these 2 guys with vacuums going through platforms and sucking up the enemies and shooting them out and hitting other enemies. That's all I remembered of it. But me and my buddy Luke, we played it a lot. I don't even know where Luke and I were going at that point. It was at a pizza place. I remember that. I think it may have been a Pizza Hut. And we were really young. We couldn't have been more than 5-6 years old at the time. And I remember this game and just couldn't get enough of it. There was one point we were sucking up zombies or skeletons and shooting them back too. So for whatever reason, it just kept me remembering it all those years. I forgot the name too. That was the thing. I forgot the name, and I saw it one day on a Twitter post, I think it was, or something, and I was like, oh my fucking god, this is great. So yeah, Tumble Pop, really great. The first Jurassic Park game, only played this once. It was a few times I played it, but not that many. But it was memorable. This is the Jurassic Park game that if I got to play more of it and everything, I would probably enjoy it more than the one that I chose for the number 9 spot. But this one is where you're fully in a Jeep going through Jurassic Park while it's raining. There's dinosaurs running at you. You got to shoot them and everything. And the scariest thing, this game was fucking scary, because the T-Rex was menacing. The sprite work that they put into the T-Rex was horrifying. And if you remember what this boss battle was with him, because he shows up a couple of times, or she shows up, I should say. Yeah, when you shoot him, he gets all yellow and flashy. But, the roaring and the sounds of the machine back then was scary, dude. It was. And, you're firing for your life, trying to keep them from killing you. And I think it made its way to the consoles at one point. I think it did. But I remember playing it in the arcade and just, being terrified of it. But I couldn't put it down. Yeah, exactly, Warner. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You remember that T-Rex. If Proxy was here, he would say the same thing. He'd remember it as well. But oh, God, man. I want to play that game again so bad. I really do. Off-road. This is actually was in this. I discovered this in the same arcade at a campsite that we had. It was in the rec center, and there was like Pac-Man and Medieval Madness, which is people considered the greatest pinball machine of all time. You know, it was the first time I discovered that pinball machine. But yeah, off-road. Not much to it. It's a machine that has the 3 steering wheels and shifts and acceleration and all that kind of stuff. And it was a hard game to learn, right? But once you learned it, man, you became like a friggin' pro. Like I put a lot of time into that game and was beating a lot of the other kids that came up to the machine, and it was great. Collecting the money and collecting the nitro boosters on the tracks, and going off the literally off-road. Like you're literally jumping off of these dirt piles and landing in water. It was such a good game, man. Such a good game. Something that I remember truly. And I did end up playing it on Super Nintendo because my buddy Rob ended up getting the game. And again, not the same without a steering wheel. Still fun though. Still fun. Let's see next. Rampage World Tour. This was at the bowling alley, and I did play it a fair amount, but I was more so playing a lot of the fighting games that were there at the time and a lot of light gun games. But I really feel that you can't have a list without Rampage because of how, especially Rampage World Tour, with how much this thing used to fucking get people on board playing it. People love this game. People went crazy for this back in the day. And I understand why. You get to go around, break buildings, rip people out of the windows, eat them, or scoop them off the ground and throw them up like they're a piece of candy and catch them in your mouth and cause all this destruction, and they throw up if they eat toxic waste, or it's Rampage. It's full on destruction, and it's great. It's such a fun game, and it's again a game that's great for friends. And it did get ported. I know it was on things like the N64 because I have it on N64, and Baz and I played it through Parsec one time, and it's a fun game. Rampage, no doubt. I think that a lot of people don't know about Rampage nowadays because I think that really terrible movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson kind of killed it. But there's still a lot of people who know what Rampage is, and it's truly an amazing game. Let's see here. Now, the reason why I'm going to tell you right now, both the Turtles games didn't make it on the list. I'm going to tell you that right now. Neither one of these is going to be a number 1 pick. But because I only played Turtles in Time once in the arcade. But I had played it first on the Super Nintendo. And to be fair, the Super Nintendo version, I think, is the superior version. Despite the fact that there's things cut out from it, there's so much added to it. So, TMNT in Time is, in the arcade, I only played it once. Technically twice, I shouldn't say that. I played it once at an arcade years ago. And the second time I played it was at a place in Rhode Island. That's like a big place for games and everything. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun, but because I played the Super Nintendo version so much and not much of the arcade one, it has to go in there. And same thing with TMNT, the arcade game as well. That's the problem with this was, I played this a fair amount. But the only time I ever played it was when I had to go to Walmart. Because you guys remember when Walmart used to have claw machines and arcade machines there back in the 90s? And it was really easy to get stolen too as a child because they were right there by the exits and stuff. But you didn't want to go and shop for clothes or whatever it was your parents were buying there, so you all stayed there with a group of kids and you all played the game and all that kind of stuff. Well, that was the extent of it. And then they got rid of it at one point. So I played more of the arcade game it's based off of on the NES. That's the one that I played the most of. But it's still fun. Still a fun game for the NES. Still a fun game for the arcade. It's absolutely a great time. But my Turtles experience really does come more from the consoles. So that's why they're there. Top Skate. Yes. Oh my God. This, much like how much I love Afterburner and everything like that, this was a game that I saw at a Dream Machine at Nantasket Beach. And you walk in, and then there it was, right? And it was a skate machine where you get on a skateboard, you put the quarters in, you get on the skateboard unlocks, and you got these bars that you hold on to so you can shift the back and forth, and you can do kick flips and all this other crazy stuff by popping the back of the the thing upwards like that and doing tricks with it. And I played it a lot when I was there. whenever I would go visit. It'd be the first machine that I would play because a lot of people really enjoyed it. It was very interactive. It was. So it's a great game. If you have not played it, watch some videos on it and see how good that it truly is. Metal Slug 1. So Metal Slug and like Bust a Move and Windjammers were all in this like arcade machine at the arcade in the bowling alley that I was that I went to every Saturday. And I put a lot of quarters in that when I wasn't playing the fighting games. So when it came right down to it, Metal Slug and its graphics, especially the first entry, again, you know, SNK, Neo Geo stuff, just amazing. I love the wackiness of it. Like when characters saw enemies coming, they'd scream and you'd shoot them dead. And there's a lot of frames of animation in this game too. But the backgrounds looked amazing. The weapons were fantastic. Everybody knows, you know, heavy machine gun, rocket launcher, flame shot, shotgun, you know, like there's a lot of stuff that's just burned in my memory from this game, and Metal Slug 1 to me remains the best personally, but I know that there's better ones than this. I know people really love 2. People really love the third entry. But for me, I played this mostly in the arcade, where the other entries I played like on an anthology collection. So yeah, it special place in my heart, man. Speaking of Windjammers, that's the next honorable mention. I wanted to put this on the top 10 list. But the problem was, as much as I played, as much as I did like Metal Slug and Bust a Move, you know, I only really played it those few years in the arcades at the bowling alley, and then eventually they took the machine away. But Windjammers, talk about some of the most hype fucking shit you will ever play in your life. Like, I remember playing with a buddy of mine or anybody else I would challenge from the other bowling teams as a kid, and holy shit, dude, like just the... So for those who don't know what Windjammers is, you play as these like really super 90s looking characters. All of them have their own strengths and weaknesses, and you throw a frisbee, which essentially looks like a tennis court. And the whole point of it is to get the frisbee to the other side. There's like, you know, there's different points of hit. If you hit the middle one, you get more points. You hit the side ones, you get less points, but they're the easier ones to do. So everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, special abilities, and it's absolutely incredible. So Windjammers was gone for so long, and the actual Neo Geo version of that thing was over $1,000 if you wanted it for the Neo Geo like console. I've got one Neo Geo game, and back then it cost me $80, and I'm glad I bought it. It was Fatal Fury 2, because that thing is worth stupid money now. Most Neo Geo games are, because not a lot of them got made. So, yeah, if you guys have not picked up Windjammers or its sequel, it is out there on all platforms, I believe. I think it's on PC, but it's still on like PlayStation. I know that. Definitely check it out. You guys will not be disappointed. If you want a game to play with friends to get everybody hyped up about shit and stuff, much like NBA Jam, Windjammers will do the same thing. And as you guys can already tell, what the final one is, Lethal Enforcers. My all-time favorite light gun game and my all-time favorite arcade game. And you're probably wondering, what the fuck is Lethal Enforcers? Well, this is essentially Lethal Weapon, the game. And I mean that because this game, I think, came out like 1990, 1991. But it was clearly made in the 80s. And it still had the 80s in mind, too. Because so many of the villains that you see are your typical 80s villains where they've got, like, long mullet-like hair. And they're in, like, these tan suits and shit. It's great. It's great. So, but I remember playing this a lot in the arcades and getting really good at it. Because everything is realistic, right? I think they just kind of took pictures. Like, I don't know how it was developed. I do want to do like a review on it someday and research it. But from what I can gather, I think they took photos of real world buildings and just used them for the games. Because that's what it looks like. Because a lot of the enemies are real people. Kind of like when they digitized Mortal Kombat actors into the game. I think they did the same thing for this game from Konami. I think they did the same thing for it. Same with the cars, like the vehicles. I think they're all real vehicles that they just digitized into the game. And it was good. Lethal Enforcers 2 had cowboys. That's right. Wasn't as successful, unfortunately, but it did have that. And I think I do have that for the Super Nintendo. But Lethal Enforcers really feels like a true 80s action movie. I mean, the places that you go to, the enemies that like pop out, and like some people are like, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. And like cops will come in and be like, stick him up. And it's just like, you almost shoot him because he comes into the screen. and the levels are great. Like, especially the first few. I remember, like, the Chinatown level's really good because they're all up in the windows throwing knives at you and gunshots. It's really great. And I always tried to get the accuracy the best I could, because if you screwed up, you got busted down. Like I think you start as patrolman, but you can work your way up. But if you make mistakes and kill innocents, and I think it's like you don't get good accuracy either. You actually drop in rank. You can go from like sergeant, to detective, to the patrolman, all that kind of stuff. So Lethal Enforcers just had it all, man. It was such a good entry, and I did really love playing it whenever I could. And one of the places I played it the most was, I told this story before. My cousins and I, we all had a lot of our birthdays at the Holiday Inn, right? We had a lot of our birthdays at the Holiday Inn, and Lethal Enforcers was there. I don't remember what the other machine was, because it wasn't even an arcade. Like, you would have to go out from the pool area, go to the side door, and I guess this is like, I think the laundry room was next to it or something like that. And there was like a long hall that exited out to one of the side entrances of the building, right? And there was just two machines there, and that was the one that was there, was Lethal Enforcers. And I played so much of that. I'd run back to my dad, be like, Dad, I need more quarters, and everything. It was so cool. So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's my personal top 10 list of arcade games. Again, if you're wondering where pinball machines were, and you're wondering where arcade games, like, fighting games were, they didn't make this list, because they're going to get their own. Because, honestly, if I did this, most of the list would be fighting games. It would be, like, 80%. So, yeah. So I'll save those for another time. Unless I didn't do them already. Sometimes I forget about the videos that I make. But, thank you guys for sticking with me for this. Like I said, we're going to play some games, too, so don't worry. But I really had a fun time doing this. Again, going down memory lane with these games and really just, like, diving into my childhood. It does mean a lot being a lot older now and everything, so... you guys, I hope that you guys enjoy this, and let me know your top 10. And if you guys are coming across this video after the live stream, there's a comment section down below. Let me know. But either way, I will also I will chop this up and I will put it into a video here on the actual channel as well, so you don't have to watch the live stream and go all the way through it. It'll be easier on the YouTube portion. So, yeah. But I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I'm glad you did. Oh, hold on a sec, guys. Just gotta check on my dad real quick. Be right back. All right. I'm back, guys. All right, so we've got this done. I need to check something here. Is this still like it was? Oh, okay. So we perfect. Oh. What the hell? Where's the camera? Uh-oh. I think we might not be able to do that there. All right, no big deal. All right, so let's figure out some stuff to play, shall we? Switch over to here. Okay. There's this. Let's see. Actually, wait, don't I have a... Hold on a sec. I think... we actually might have it. Let me just check the stuff here. Oh, this may work. Yeah, just like going through that category. Oh, categories found. Okay. So yeah, I forgot. I still have the. Here we go. Okay. We might be able to play some arcade games, actually, guys. Holy shit, there's a lot of them. Wait, to fucking search these things, or... Aha. This might actually be something that works. Because sometimes these main machines, unfortunately, they're not the greatest at times. But let's see, controller right here. We'll switch this over in a second. Let's just see if this works. It doesn't work. This kind of does. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. There we go. How high can you get? Oh, man. Oh, double score. Let's go, bitch. Andy Dick be like, that sounds like it sounds. So that guy's a fucking piece of shit. Talk about someone who's never been funny a day in his life and somehow kept getting work. Like, Like I want that ability. I want to be so bad at like jobs that like jobs will literally pay me still. Technically, I did have a job. Like when I was living in Connecticut, my sister was like, you can't keep working in the restaurants. You got to make better money. You know, you got to go like at this job. My boss, his husband runs like the security company, and like, you know, like it's a collections thing, kind of like, you know, you call people to pay their bills and keep making sure everything's like on track to be paid. It's like, I don't want a fucking boring ass office job. Fuck that noise, dude. Fucking hated that job. And her husband's boss was a fucking piece of shit too. He was a miserable bastard. Yep. And I did the office job, and it sucked. It was terrible. Had to drive almost like an hour every like day to get there. Ugh. And I just remember the running joke because I didn't know how to do the job. Like that was the problem. I did not know how to do the job because they didn't teach me properly. And then I find out like, you know, like I can get personally sued for like the mistakes that I could make, and I'm just like, really? Things that I could have been told about and you never fucking told me about. Shit. So the job just sucks. So I kept going in, and I kept getting paid to do something I didn't know how to do. Let's try this again. The Rob Schneider of 90s sitcoms. Damn. I mean, at least Rob Schneider's funny. Oh, restaurant work. I worked, well, the thing is, I also take care of my dad full time too. And I get paid through the state to do that. But, I mean, they don't pay really enough, unfortunately. You know, it's the state. I have to fight to get proper payment to, because they're just like, oh, well, you already stay home and take care of your dad. You know, why do you need more money? Like, fuck off, you know? Like, they literally said that to me one day. I literally told them to get out of my house. But yeah, like the last job I had, besides taking care of my dad, was restaurant work. I worked Texas Roadhouse. I worked there for about 2 years, I think, 3 years. But then like my dad started like really getting worse, and I couldn't really keep working because he kept falling down at home when he could walk a little back then. So, you know, I stayed for as long as I could, and then my good boss, he got forced out by corporate, which fucking sucked. And the guy they brought in to replace him was a piece of shit. And when I told him that, you know, I had to leave, I told him, I was like, look, getting a job taking care of my dad, he needs me, and I unfortunately I can't keep working while I do this job. I have to be home with him at all times, which is one of the reasons why I'm glad I got more into streaming and earning money from this, because it helps me take care of my dad too. But oh yeah, that's right, I gotta hit the bricks. Anyway, so I left Roadhouse, and the boss I had was a piece of shit. He goes, well, Tony, I can't accept your resignation. And I'm just like, you what? He's like, well, we need you here. And I was like, really? Because ever since you've been here, you haven't acted like you've needed me at all. In fact, you've been a complete asshole to me. I literally said that right to his face, because I don't give a fuck. A job's a job, dude. You don't let a job fucking ruin you and everything like that and belittle you. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you bastard. Come on. Oh, you motherfucker. Ah! So I tried to give my 2 weeks. He wouldn't accept my 2 weeks. And I said, fine, I'm done at the end of the week. And he's like, well, I can't accept this. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And I walked right out of the office. He was a real piece of shit to people. He really was. Well, unfortunately, things will never get better for me, from my dad and everything. This is like, he's 86, and he's healthy in some ways, but not in a lot of other ways. You know, and recently I found out people were running their mouth about my dad, saying that he wasn't really that sick and he's not that like in bad of condition, which is hilarious because one of those people actually has met my father and saw the condition that he was in. So, like, he can't walk. Like, he got crippled from a car accident and everything, and it was a nightmare. And the woman blew the red light. You know, she blew the red light while she was on her phone and just took my father out of commission permanently. So that's like when I moved home to take care of him and everything. But I could still like work a job and everything and be home too. But at one point, it just wasn't possible anymore. So, but yeah, like I mean, I don't miss working in the restaurants so much. I mean, I'm still friends with a lot of people that I work with in the restaurants, which a lot, like, you know, if you've ever worked in a restaurant and you stay at a place for a while, if you decide to leave said restaurant, you're kind of forgotten about. Everybody forgets about you and doesn't even like really want you coming back anymore. But I always made a good impression on people. Also, because I think the other reason why I made a good impression was because I didn't try to sleep with anybody that I worked with. That was always a rule. Like it was always a, you know, I always made the joke and everything like that. But the rule was, you know, never dip your pen in the company inkwell, right? Which is very true. You don't do that. That's right. You can't get rid of the hammer. You gotta wait. And I was just nice. I came in, I did my job, you know, and my boss, like the good boss, he knew it. Like, he knew that I was going through a lot because he actually met my dad. Because, like, I brought my dad to Walmart one day for Father's Day. We were just getting some stuff, and I turned the corner, and there's my boss. My boss gave me the day off and everything, and, you know, he was getting stuff for, you know, everybody there and everything. But, you know, he, oh, shit. Things are getting challenging now. And he met my dad, and, like, you know, he could see that my dad, you know, I wasn't lying about my dad's sickness and stuff like that. And he told my dad, he goes, you know, your son is one of the best people that I've hired at my restaurant since I started. And my dad goes, well, I'm not surprised. He works hard his whole life. You know, he's a good kid. So, you know, my boss knew, like, when I couldn't come into work because of my dad, he understood. But I always found coverage because I did everything for everybody at that job. You know, and Roadhouse honestly was the best restaurant that I worked for, aside from some issues. But, you know, my boss was great. A lot of people were great. You know, no one was really about, like, work drama or anything like that. It was great. It was just a great place to be. What was your dream job going up? Cop. But I took the test for the NYPD back in the day and didn't pass it, unfortunately. The physical, at the time, if I took the physical test, I would have fucking aced it. But, you know, like, that only happens after. But I took the written exam and just, you know, just didn't do good, like, on it. My dad's a retired cop. That's what I always wanted to be. But it just wasn't meant to be. And I tried for Department of Corrections and stuff like that. And, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I failed that test because corrections is one of the worst jobs on the fucking planet to have, you know? I mean, one of my friends, she's a cop, and she's like, Tony, we're still hiring. You're still at the age where you can come on board. And I was like, you want me to be a 38-year-old rookie? Really? But again, like, I couldn't do it even if I wanted to because, you know, there's no one to look after my dad. So, actually, funny enough, a friend of mine, you know, she knew what was going on about me not being able to go to Vegas with the road team and stuff like that, because of everything that's, you know, goes on with my dad. Like, I did not expect the third barrel to go down like that. But a friend of mine, she found out that nobody was willing to help and look after my dad for 2 days. Like, nobody was willing to do. All these people that say that they, you know, that they love my dad, they want to help, they like, let us know, we'll watch your dad if you need to go anywhere. All the people said either no, or they just gave some lame excuse, or just left me on red when I sent them text messages. You know? So it was really upsetting. And so a friend of mine who, like, I'm in Boston, right? She lives in, what was it? Nebraska. She's coming to watch my father. She's going to fly in and look after my dad for a couple days while I go to Vegas to work and do photos for everybody. Because the thing of it is, like, you know, so long story short, my dad's friend used to live with us, and I used to have a roommate, a good friend of mine. She moved out last year, and then my dad's roommate, he fell down the stairs and cracked his skull open. The guy has, like, zero cognitive abilities anymore. So I can't have him come back here because he's a danger to my father and everybody around. Plus, I found out he dropped my father. What do you call it there? He dropped my dad in the bathroom when he was taking him there. And so, and he was drunk apparently. So, I was pissed. I was really pissed. I was in California because I was out working in California doing photos for the family because my sister had a kid a while ago and it was his christening. So, he can't come back and live here. But the problem is now I don't have anybody to look after my dad, so I'm literally home 24 hours a day. So it impacts my ability to travel and do photos. Because a lot of people just think, oh, you just go to conventions to have fun. Like, you got to stay home and take care of your dad. Dude, I go to conventions to take care of my dad. Like, I literally go and... There you go. I literally go to conventions and take care of my dad through that for the money that I make doing photos. I'm shooting photos for literally like 10 hours a day at these conventions, right? And I'm not screwing around and getting drunk like everybody else does at these conventions. I'm working. Fuck! 3 barrels, man. So, you know, I work hard to like earn money to take care of my dad. Like, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, I don't do any of that shit. I just do what I'm supposed to do. I take care of my dad. And like I said, photography is the way that I do that. But again, now that I have nobody to look after my dad, it's a bit of a problem. So I'm a little unsure about the future on like what to do because, you know, the 2 roommates that I had, they were really good for our income. Now we don't have that. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. We're trying to like go through the veterans system and get my dad more money, but the problem is my landlord, who I am really tired of her and her husband's bullshit. Damn it. I'm really tired of their bullshit. They were supposed to write out a thing for me. Cancel that. They were supposed to write out a thing to help us get extra money because the veterans office will give my dad money, and they just need to know, you know, dad's social security and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, and since we don't own the house that we've lived in for 35 years, the landlord has to write a letter saying, yeah, they live here and this is what they pay. And she hasn't sent it. And I asked her like 6 months ago. Ooh, does this work? Oh, this is the Jurassic Park game. Hell yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, let me So, you know, I have to fight a lot to get the stuff that my dad is entitled to. You know, being a veteran and everything like that.
Good luck.
Oop.
Good luck.
Oh geez. Oh, hamburgers. Wait. What do I? Oh geez. Oh no. Oh, I don't think we can play this. Tell me I gotta like move this at the same time somehow. Ah! Well, I could, but the damn thing won't do anything. I'm trying to like figure out the controls for this, but it's not. None of it's working. What the fuck? Oh, now it seems to work. Maybe not. Spoke too soon. I wonder. Hold on a sec. Let's see if we can. I think we could fix this actually. If we do general settings or system, maybe it's the. Input device options. Okay, here we go. Mouse input provider. Okay, this should be what we need. Okay. All right, let's try this again. See if we can get it to work.
Good luck.
Oh, it's still reacting to the damn controller, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, unfortunately, guys. Unless, hold on. Input options, okay. Mouse. Oh, off. Well, let's turn this shit on. All right. Maybe we can get it to work now. All right, let's see
Good luck.
what we can do. Nope, still can't get it to work. This sucks. Wait, what? Wait. I gotta use the keyboard? Okay. All right. We'll try this. It's still not as fun on keyboard, unfortunately. But this is still scary as shit, man. Like, all right, let's see what else we've got that could possibly work. Well, actually, let's see if we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got The Simpsons. Let's go. Let's see if we can get this going. Uh-oh. Hmm. Why did it stop? Yeah, it just keeps switching. I don't know why it's doing this. Video option. Video mode. E3. Oh, window mode. Here we go. On. There we go. Enable window mode. Okay. Did it save? Okay, it did. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, MAME is hit and miss. You'd think it wouldn't be after all these years. You'd think it would be a lot better. Oh, man, let's go. Yo, man. Actually, wait, is there a... Hold on, wait a minute. So yeah, we've got it working. I just want to know advanced. Oh, let me put input. Let me see if can I start off at. I might only be able to play as a character I don't want to play as, but advanced options. Yeah. Oh well, no big deal. Let's boot this back up. Simpsons Wrestling. Oh man, I haven't played that in forever. Yeah, I can only play as Marge. I love how Marge just has a random fucking. Ah! The Simpsons new game. It's just got like a random fucking machine, vacuum machine. You know, it's fucking hilarious. I think it was kind of cool too that they got the actors to actually do their voices in this. I think this is the first time the voices ever got used in a video game. Oh god, beat it.
Whoa, look out, work. Come on.
Oh yeah, I forgot they all like fly in like superhero personas when they come back. Yeah, because like Bart was Bartman. I remember that one. There was a Treehouse of Horrors game that got that some guy was developing. It was like this, but it became too ambitious, and he had to take a step back. So apparently, like they remade this game, but I've seen it, and it honestly looks like fucking garbage compared to this. Hooligans. Oh yeah, you had.
Your balloon and go after Maggie. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Vacuum with a vacuum. Now, I love The Simpsons, though. The Simpsons, I mean, I don't like the newer episodes, unfortunately, like a lot of old schoolers. Because, look, you can't even say that the new episodes are great. I mean, don't get me wrong. They've actually been making some lately that have done shockingly well. Like, it's just like, oh my god, this feels like old school Simpsons. Like, they get it here. Give me another, Otto. Give me another. Whoa, I think you've had enough, Mrs. S. I'll tell you when I've had enough. That's Dr. Marvin Monroe. No, like classic Simpsons is where it's at, you know. And like I said, I am a fair guy. I try to look at all the. Thank you, Millhouse. But I try to look at a lot of how these shows are, and like when they go on for too long, and I try to say, hey, let me see how bad these things truly might be, right? And then you see it, and it's like, no, it is bad. And it's not even to say, it's like, oh, because they're new, and it's not like the old stuff. No, it could change, but it could still be good. But it's not any of that. Like, a lot of the new stuff is, I mean, like, we all say it, too. The voice actors, a lot of them just can't do the voices anymore. And I am never one to say, hey, let's, like, retire that actor or whatever, you know? But there comes a point where they really can't just do this stuff anymore. Ah! Bitch. Like, they can't do the voices anymore, and it's just time to say goodbye to the role. Because, and here's the thing. Do any of them actually need it? Like, they don't... I mean, if they're doing it for money, the Simpsons actors are some of, like, legit the most highest-paid actors in ever. Like, there was a strike where they went on strike because, obviously, the Simpsons was making so much money through merchandise back in the 90s, and they were everywhere. And the voice actors weren't getting a fair share. So they almost went on strike, and then they were like, yep, nope, oh, nope, we'll do it. We'll pay you. But now it's like you live in a world where so many people on YouTube can actually do the voices perfectly even. So I knew at one point, let's use this for example. I knew at one point Mike Henry got replaced as Cleveland in, what do you call it there? In Family Guy. Because he was a white guy doing a black guy's voice. And so I was like, okay, yeah, so he gets replaced, okay, you know. And then what happens is, I didn't even know when he got replaced because the guy who does Cleveland's voice sounds exactly like Mike. It's crazy.
Whoa, look out, world.
So it's just proof that, you know, sometimes you just gotta step down, you know. Whoa, oh, fuck you, you stupid balloon. You just gotta step down. And the thing is, here's the other thing too, right? You could also you could make new characters for the show that the characters could voice, right? Make new voices. Because I think one of the best examples of this was X-Men 97, where virtually most of the cast got brought back, but the guy who plays Gambit isn't voicing Gambit anymore. It's a younger guy, which is weird because the guy who voices Gambit still sounds like Gambit. However, they let him be Cable, and his Cable is really good. He does a really good job as him. There we go. Yeah, because they're going to survive this. Yeah, they wrote a poo out. Yeah, and I can't, yeah. Hank Azaria was actually talking about that on a podcast recently, about that whole fiasco and stuff. I didn't get to finish watching it and everything. But you can tell he didn't want to do it. You can tell he didn't want to give up that role. But, I mean, he plays so many other roles. Like, you know, he's Moe, Chief Wiggum, you know. But, like, you know, people always make the argument, well, you gotta, you know, you can't voice a character that's not your race. And I'm like, but it's voice acting. You can do whatever you want. That's why it's called voice acting. And I remember Phil Lamar was saying that a while ago, like a few years ago. And it's like, dude, you literally voice a Japanese guy. And you do, like, the accent of a Japanese man. So how are you going to be out there saying that people can't do certain roles, and yet you're out here, you know, voicing a Japanese guy? And here's the thing. I don't care if you're, like, a Japanese guy voicing a white guy, or, you know, a black guy voicing a Spanish guy, or whatever, you know? As long as the role fits, I think that's what matters. And, you know, people are getting work through that, yeah? And I think one of the best examples is a voice actor, and I've talked about this before, Kevin Michael Richardson. That guy literally is an amazing actor. He has voiced people of color. He's voiced white guys. The dude is multi-fucking talented. You know, he is just amazing at what he does. I've always respected his work. He's just so cool. His body of work is insane. I don't think he gets enough recognition for what he does, to be honest. But I think, like, you know, these people being afraid of being canceled if they don't, like, change the role that they're doing and stuff. I was like, dude, you've been doing these roles for 30 years. It's kind of like having tenure. You'll be fine. Freaking zombies. I mean, like, look. Like, when it comes to voice acting, it's different, but regular acting, I completely agree. Like, you know, it's different. Ah. I mean, I always tell people this. If you feel that way, or anything about acting, and I see a lot of people who complain about this, I'm like, wait, hold on. You people are out here complaining about, you know, voice actors and this kind of stuff. But meanwhile, a lot of shows from, obviously, Japan, like anime, are Japanese characters. And you've got a bunch of different people that are, like, white and black and Spanish voicing anime characters. But you're not complaining about that. Why is that?
How's my hair?
So that's like why I truly feel that it doesn't matter as long as you can do the job. And also too, like, if you're not getting, as long as you get the job for the right reasons. If you don't get the job because of you know, the color of your skin, that's fucked up and everything. And obviously we know that shit happens. You know, I've been there before too. I got a job. I didn't get a job that I went for because I was a guy. Because I went for a job where it was a really nice restaurant. And I went in, and at this point, I already had about 6 years of restaurant history under my belt. Right? I could bartend if I needed to. I was a host. I was a server. Could do all that stuff. Right? And so I saw this girl that was there. She was going for the same job I was going for, and I was just like, oh, I was just shooting the shit with her. I was just like, oh, you've done restaurant work before? And she goes, no, never in my life. I've never actually worked a restaurant job ever. I've always just done office jobs. And I'm like, oh. So I'm just like, she's not going to get this. You know, like a lot of restaurants kind of want to hire, people who have some kind of experience. But unfortunately, I lost the job to her. And I went back in to, like, see about the job. Damn, they beat the shit out of Marge. And I saw that she got the job. And I talked to the manager, and I was like, why didn't I get the job? I had more experience. She has no work experience in the restaurant. And they're just like, well, we just felt that she was, the better choice and everything for hosting and keeping things in order. And I'm like, she was an office worker. What does she know about keeping order? And I literally looked at her, I'm like, you hired her because she's a really attractive woman, didn't you? And as I was leaving, one of the girls came up to me, who worked was up the front too, and she goes, unfortunately, I overheard what you said to my boss. You did lose out because you were a guy. And I'm like, really? For real? And she's like, it's sad but true. That's they do it here all the time. That's how I got the job. I didn't have any restaurant experience. I mean, I'm glad I got the job, but I can't imagine how many people who, had experience that didn't get the job and I got it. It's not fair. And and I saw your resume. You did a lot. So, it was a bummer. And I remember the time I got, what do you call it there? I tried to work at GameStop, and they hired a girl over me. And I found out that was because a buddy of mine worked it, and he knew why I didn't get the job. And that was the reason why. And it just, it just sucks, That's like when people tell me I don't know, like, how hard it is to find work and out there and stuff. I was like, dude, I know. I've gone to jobs, and I've not gotten them because of being a guy. But I'm very thankful for the jobs I did get when they actually looked at my resume and they're like, shit, you've done a lot. And then, yeah, we could definitely hire someone like you. You seem to stay at jobs for a long time, too. Which is true. I do. When I get a job, I stay there. Yeah, Mo, give me a bottle. James Earl Jones is a perfect example. He did voice for Darth Vader because the guy who had this too polite, dandy voice accent. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't matter. I think, and like I said, that's why you need to be hired for, for your, like, what you have available, like your work speaks for itself. Like, I'll tell you another thing. I lost a lot of photography gigs for years, right? Because people were like, oh, well, you're not popular enough. You don't have a large following. Like, us working with you won't help us at all, kind of thing, right? And if you look at my body of work at the time, it was actually good. I did really great work. That's not Maggie. I did a lot of work, and people still didn't want to hire me. But then when I started working with Nick Apostolitis, when I did those photos for him at PAX Self, all the people that were naysayers and all the people who didn't want anything to do, like work with me and left me on red and seen, like they saw that Capcom shared the stuff, and they were all of a sudden they were all like, "Oh yeah, we would love to work with you sometime. Like, when are you coming here? Like, do you have time available for this?" And I'm just like, none of you wanted to work with me in the first place, and now you're only working with me because I worked with a celebrity. Like, get the fuck out of here. And some of my friends tried to, they tried to say things like, "Well, Tony, maybe they just didn't like maybe your skills improved greatly since then." And I'm like, my skills didn't improve from 2 months when a lot of these people were saying this shit about me, and then when I worked with Nick. So, it just goes to show you like the kind of world we live in and how shitty it can be. This guy's not drunk. He's fucking high as a kite. But I just tell a lot of my friends when they have jobs now, I was like, don't work too hard at a job. They're like, what are you talking about? And I tell them this. I was like, work at a job, but don't make it your life. Don't let it consume you. Don't let them abuse you or what you do. If you end up doing manager-level work constantly and they're not giving you a raise or that manager position, stop working hard for them. A friend of mine, love her to death, but she worked at this one grocery chain, and she was in the deli, and she worked her ass off for these people. She did everything for them. Came in all the time, and they just abused her. They never gave her the raises that she deserved. She never got the, what do you call it there, the manager jobs or anything like that. And she did eventually leave, which was great. But I always tell people, no job is worth that. No job is worth that pain. Having to like put yourself through all this misimportant things in your life for a job that doesn't care about you. That's what I always tell people. I always tell them to like be very aware of that when that happens.
You're late.
Like I said, if you know a job is not going to take care of you and do you right, then stop working hard for them. Like when I worked for TGI Fridays, I started doing that at one point too. Like I worked hard for them at one point, and I got a little, little places. But then when the new management came in and things changed, I was like, no, I'm done with this bullshit. Everything. You're all going to fucking treat me like shit and everything, even though I'm the only one. I'm the guy who comes in last minute to help you out. I'm one of your only workers here that doesn't fucking get high, doesn't come in fucking drunk, and doesn't fucking try to sleep with anybody and like has HR down here all the time. Like, fuck off. Yeah, bees. Ugh. Yeah, and I tell people that all the time. And when people are in like regular jobs or even restaurants, a lot of people don't want to leave said restaurants, right? Because they're afraid to. They're like, well, yeah, I mean, like it sucks here, but I got somewhere at least. I got this certain day off. I got this. I said, yeah, but it's not worth your mental health. Completely ruining yourself for a corporation that'll fire you in 5 seconds for screwing something minor up. That's how it works. Nelson, thank you. Ah, bitch. Blinky! Bitch! There's another Blinky. Sideshow Bob!
Whoa, look out, world.
Bear. Yeah, because like we work in a world now where virtually almost every place treats you like you're expendable. Because I had a boss that came in. She came in to take over the Fridays restaurant I worked at, and I hated her attitude. Her attitude was so corporate it wasn't even funny. She's like, I know this place has problems and like this is a problem store, and I'm here to tell you that those problems are gonna stop now. And then if you don't want to work here, then there's the door. And I raised my hand. I said, you know, if you talk like that to us, no one's going to want to work with you or respect you. And she took me aside and started yelling at me, like all 5 feet of her. And I'm just like, listen, you're coming in here when corporate moved out 3 of our best managers. We got this place out of the hole that old man, that the first manager dug us in. And we got out of it just fine without you. And we lost them. And now you're coming in here and telling everybody that they're expendable? Like, get out of here. And I was so tired of her bullshit. Like, that's not a way that you think. Because you don't know any of these workers. You don't know who the good workers are and the bad people are, right? Roadhouse was one of the only companies I ever worked for that actually cared. I worked for Bertucci's. They were fucking terrible. They were a horrible ass company to work for. My first job was Petco. That company was even worse. The managers there were fucking terrible. Donuts. I mean, you know, a lot of gaming companies are the same way. A lot of them are very corporate and shit, where I think, like, indie games, they're a lot better to work for, you know? Because indie companies are more about making games like that used to be. You know what I'm saying? Beat yourself up. What the fuck? Throwing radiation at me and shit, you basket. Eee. There we go. Devil Bart. Wow. Caught in a fucking loop. Oh, bowling ball. People watching right now. Greatly appreciate that, guys. 19 likes too. Hell yeah, let's go. Oh, he can roll backwards? They had to roll forward first. Oh, he's got fists. He's throwing hands now. Ah. Explode already. He gets legs, right? Yes. Bowling pin missiles. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Hey, wake up and find Maggie. Ready? Go!
There we go. The others barely even woke up. They don't care about Maggie as much, I guess. Oh, look at that! Strike! Bitch. Oh. Fuck you. Damn it. Okay, Mr. Smooth Criminal, like, the fuck is that? Evil robot. Fuck you. Ah. There we go. Gimme. Random corn. Damn.
Whoa, look out, world. Oh dear. Whoa, look out, world.
Yeah, I kind of wish a lot more of the Simpsons actors would actually go to cons because I'd like to meet some of them. Hank Azaria has actually, wait, if I'm thinking that's the right guy, right? The one who does Mo? Oh, yeah, that's him. Yeah, I'm thinking of Harry Shearer. That he's like Mr. Burns and stuff. Yeah, Hank's been going to cons lately, and I would love to meet him because, you know, like, Mo's, like, probably my favorite. If we're going to talk non-Simpson character and everything, what do you call it there? Like, non-Simpson family member, my favorite's probably is Mo and everything. I would love to meet Hank and everything, get, like, something Mo signed or whatever, you know? Favorite Simpsons member is probably Homer. Bart's great, don't get me wrong, and I think they tried to really like make Homer more of the main character per se in the family in the early seasons, but Bart's popularity was kind of like an Urkel thing where it just Bart mania was everywhere. It was real. Oh, Krusty's great. I love the episode where Krusty faked his death. That was such a great episode. I love that one. I think one of my favorite Krusty moments, though, is that one where they watch the Russian cartoon that's supposed to be the Russian counterpart to Itchy and Scratchy. And after the blank look on his face with that cigarette hanging there, he's like, what the hell was that? That shit was too good, man. I love that. I think my favorite Simpsons episode is probably the Lemon of Troy episode, where Shelbyville kids take the lemon tree from the spot, and which is just crazy to think that those kids somehow ripped that tree right out of the fucking ground. They never even explained how they did it. But I always thought it was really cool, that episode. Like, they go into Shelbyville, then you realize Shelbyville is just like opposite of Springfield. Everything is like there's a female groundskeeper, Willie. The Quickie Mart is run by a Chinese guy. Moe's is called Joe's, and it looks like he's a hippie. It's crazy. And it gives all the characters kind of something to do. And then you actually realize how much was cut from the TV version that aired. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. Like, you watch the episodes on Disney Plus and everything, and you realize, oh my god, there's a lot of things that never did air. Like like the part in the episode, like where Marge's like, you know what your brother is tutoring, and Lisa's like, tutoring? One thing tutoring Bart's doing is teaching guerrilla warfare in Shelbyville. And she's like, oh, do you have a number that we can reach him? And she's like, no, Mom. He went to go wage war against the kids in Shelbyville. And Marge's like, oh no, he quit his tutoring job to become a violence gang leader. And it was funny because what do you call it there? Because in like they talk about Marge talks about, like, you know, owning the roots and like of your life, and she thinks that eventually like she's gonna, oh, I'm gonna go teach some kids some lessons, Ma. And she's like, I'm glad that my advice paid off, you know. So there's things that you see that you don't see, you know. It's really cool.
Welcome to my world.
Oh my god, the Treehouse of Horror with Mr. Burns as Dracula. Oh, that's great. I love that moment in it where he just goes like, where he's like, take that, vile fiend, and that, yeah, and he's like hammering him with the stake, and Lisa's like, Dad, that's his crotch. And then he does end up killing Mr. Burns, and then Burns comes back for like a quick second and goes, you're fired! Oh, that episode is fucking gold, man. It's so gold. God damn it. Super happy fun slide. No, Dad. Oh, okay. I guess killing will be just as fun. He just self-destructs and kills himself. Oh, yeah, Hugo, the identical twin. Turns out Bart's the evil one the whole time. fucking dropping nukes, man. There, now you got no legs.
When you think you're going.
It's clear they couldn't get Harry Shearer to come and do Burns' voice, because that's not Burns' voice. I love the Who Shot Mr. Burns episode when Homer just finally like has enough snaps and just fucking like tries to kill Burns. And they he's like, "Who the devil are you?" And he just runs up to him and starts shaking him violently. That was the first and only time they did a two-parter, actually, now I think about it.
When you think you're going.
Oh, those nipple claws. Oh, shit, he can still drop the bombs. Oh, he's got fucking lasers. God, they weren't nipple lasers. I mean, I don't understand why they just couldn't get his voice, voice clips from the show. Maybe they would have had to pay him. Maybe it was in a contract that his voice can't be used like that. Like, he has to be the one doing the voice. They can't, like, use old recordings or whatever. Damn it. I'm in the corner, too. Jesus Christ. Seizure warning. Oh, he's going crazy. Perfect. Maggie's like the one who essentially KOs him. It is crazy though that the Simpsons episode, like with the whole Who Shot Mr. Burns thing, was supposed to be Smithers, and the way they set it up was pretty good too. But it ended up being Maggie that shot him. And I love how Lisa, in like later episodes, makes it like a talk about that, where it's like it was about the gun safety, where Homer buys the gun. She's like, "Don't you remember when Maggie shot Mr. Burns?" She's like, "I thought that was Smithers." And Lisa was like, "Would have made a lot more sense." And I just throw the diamond. Such a good game, man. What? 293 people killed only, huh? I thought it got higher than that. Such a classic, though, this game, man. All right, let's try something else, because there's... Oh, Tumble Pop is here, actually. We talked about that. Oop. Is this it? Uh-oh. Oh, no. What the hell? Oh, this is that pinball machine. Yeah, I'll have to play this for you guys at one point, but uh-oh. It's screwed things up. Hold on. There we go. Okay. There we go. Yeah, it's a pinball machine, that pinball game that me and my buddy used to play on his PC years ago. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we got Tumble Pop World. Let's hope this works. I think it might. Data East was the one. Of course. Data East makes some really good arcade games. I don't think they get enough credit. Japan.
Let's clean up.
Woo! Yo, Scott, what's going on, dude? Yeah, you missed a good stream, man. Like we did a top 10 arcade stream and all that jazz, and came out really good. I mean, if you want to go back and watch it later on, obviously you can rewatch the streams at any time. Hope you're doing good, man. But yeah, now we're going through a lot of arcade games because I have the MAME on here and stuff, so. Ooh. Yeah, I just remember really loving this game a lot as a kid because it kind of just reminded me of like Ghostbusters a little bit in some way.
Let's clean up.
No! No! Oh, that's it? I was gonna say. Oh god, he got legs! And he dead. Yeah, no, like I said, I remember playing this game with my buddy Luke and everything, and is that person dabbing? A game from the early 90s and they're dabbing? Oh my, did they create the dab? Fuck clowns. I hate clowns.
Let's clean up. You did it.
Never really got into pinball games on console PC, and I love the shit out of the pinball machine I got for my Xmas one year. Actually, we're gonna be at one point. I'm gonna be doing a top 10 like best pinball machines of all time. I'm gonna save that list for like another day, but that's gonna be a video that or a live stream that I'll be doing at some point. Because, like, for arcades, obviously you think fighting games and pinball machines and everything else in between, and light gun games and all the other stuff. But, you know, I couldn't, I couldn't do it because it would literally be, it would literally just be 80% fighting games for me. Damn it! No! I want to get all that stuff. Does the Windows pre-installed PC count? I think. Ooh. Oh, damn. Ugh, clowns. What the? Damn, he's protected by all those damn bombs. There we go. The bombs didn't even explode. There we go. Fuck you. Ah. Oh, shit. There we go. Oh. God damn. Oop. Ah, damn it. Whoa! Damn it. Woo! This game loves to clown around. Oh, jeez. This guy thinks he's clever. He's got fucking puns over here. Ha! I didn't even know I had some of them. Ah! Damn! What the? Ah. Damn it. These guys like take forever to like suck up into this damn vacuum. There we go. Fuck you. Teabag you.
Let's clean up.
France has robots. God, man, just play this like I said, it was just that like one time at that place, and I'd forgotten the name of the game too. You know, I couldn't remember it, but you know, playing it now all these years later again, it's so fun, man. You know, arcade game. See, I think that's like one of the reasons why I think we had it good when we grew up in the 90s. Arcade games didn't have to be like, you know, complicated or, you know, overly complicated or anything like that. They just had to be fun, you know? And I think that generally is what a lot of arcade games are. They're fun.
Let's clean up.
And, oh yeah, since you guys are already here, I've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, it's probably going to be sometime in February, I feel, that we're going to have the Twisted Metal retrospective start, because I got to get my artist time to make some stuff, because she's going to be making stuff for Resident Evil, because I'm going to do a review on that game, obviously. Damn it. So like Resident Evil 9 will be the review in that month, but yeah, the Twisted Metal one will hopefully be in February as well. We'll see. There you go, you little bastards. No. Damn it. Yeah, Dragoon. We covered that in the video earlier. That's one of the games on the top 10 arcade list that I made. Oop. I love that game, man. That game was so fun. No more power suck mode. Now we just got power blast mode. Don't cross the streams. You know, Gunblade was insane, dude. I actually have it on the Wii as well. And holy shit, I think that game is actually worth a lot on the Wii. I think that's like a very expensive Wii game at this point. Damn it. My dad actually had played Gunblade with me in the arcade too. Fucking amazing, dude. Ah. Ha! Damn it. Ah, damn. There we go. Teabag your shit. America. I suppose it's New York. Yep. Almost. One more.
Let's bring up.
There we go. I remember an arcade where you ride a bicycle on the screen. It's a kid riding and flying a bike. That actually seems very familiar. Where have I heard that before? I'd have to see screenshots of it, but I know I've heard of that before.
Let's bring up. You did it.
hitting everything with the damn T.
Let's clean up.
It's a Sega game? Yeah, I mean, as much as I'm a child of the 90s, I did play a lot of Genesis, but there's still like a lot of Genesis games, like when people describe them, I can't pick them up right away, you know? Just drop the damn T already, you motherfucker. No, Conjure, what's going on?
Let's clean up.
13 people here watching right now. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Just drop the damn T already.
Let's clean up.
Fucking Kappas, man. Wait, why are Kappas in America? I'm confused. Like the green slimes and the pumpkin heads, that I get. This is weird. America, giant squid, let's go. Release the Kraken. Eh, eh, eh. Ah, damn it. It still didn't hit him. You gotta be shitting me. Uh-oh. Oh, damn it! I had them all almost. Woohoo! Big damage, baby. Ah. What the, oh, the damn tentacles. There we go. Oh, he did.
Let's clean up.
Like, I really want to know what the story to this game is. I do.
Let's clean up.
Ah, oh, I didn't need that one anyway.
Let's clean up.
Damn it.
Let's clean up.
Damn it. The fire goes like that? That's bullshit. Ooh, big money.
You did it. Let's clean up. You did it.
All right, dude, take care, man. And yeah, we're still streaming and everything like that. You're more than welcome to come back. Ah, fire. Woo! Kill everything.
You did it. Let's clean up.
Oh, T, we got it.
On the spot. Let's clean up.
There we go.
Let's clean up.
Oh. All right. I'm good with this game. Let's see what else we've got in here, though, right? Let's see. Oh, we got X-Men versus Street Fighter here, too. All right, let's try Yeah, let's see if Windjammers works. Yep, it's not going to work. I guess we can play X-Men. I guess we can't play X-Men. Frozen Time, we can try that. Ooh. Winners don't use drugs. Oh, we're playing a 90s game. We are playing a 90s game.
Pizza power!
Oh, 1991. God damn. Wait, is my controller not working for this?
Let's kick
Oh.
shell!
Oh, I gotta be Leo. I don't want to be Leo.
This is April O'Neil
Oh, shit.
reporting.
Hey, Krang! Bring that statue back, you bloated beanbag!
Magic shell.
Yeah, like Turtles in Time, like both the Super Nintendo version and the arcade version, they're different and they're both good and bad in a lot of ways. I don't really think so much the Super Nintendo one. I think like really the only flaw to the Super Nintendo one is the fact that it's not 4 players. You know, you can't play 4 players on that. It's 2-player only. And there's more frames of animation in the Turtles attacks and stuff.
Prepare to die.
Ah!
Pizza time.
Terminate the turtle.
Yeah, and pretty much all the bosses are different. Some have like similar attack patterns and shit, but others like Baxter's a little bit different. He has like more angles he can fire his gun at and shit, as you can see. And then some bosses in like Super Nintendo didn't even exist in the arcade one. Yeah, I think Baxter Stockman, man, he might be a piece of shit, but God, like that Turtle show from 2003, holy crap, did he get put through the fucking ringer? Like, I think one of his episodes couldn't be shown because of how graphic it was.
Cowabunga! Alley Cat Blues.
What the?
Cool off, sucker.
I didn't kill even one of them. This game is rigged.
Pizza time.
Hate these damn machines. Whoa! Shell shock.
Pizza power. going to mangle you green slime balls.
Come on. I always loved Metalhead as a character. I remember there was a comic where they uploaded Donatello's brain into Metalhead, or like a shell of Metalhead. Yeah, Suspect 13, what's going on, dude? Yeah, we're playing the arcade version. So earlier we did like a top 10 list of the top 10 like best arcade games, and I forgot that I had MAME on this thing. So I was like, you know what? Let's play it. See what we can play at least, because like not everything works, unfortunately. Oh yeah. Woo! Ha! A lot of enemies on screen.
Pizza time.
Oh, bitch. Huh. God damn. Yeah, so in the Super Nintendo version, this one's a bonus level. And you don't fight the Rat King in this level either. Ah! You know, like, I was going through a phase again, like, where I was trying to collect, like, TMNT figures and shit, and it really sucks the fact that, like, they're so expensive. It's like, who the fuck are you making this shit for?
My toes, my
Like, millennials don't have money like this, you assholes. But I think it's Nickelodeon who owns the rights to... Yeah, Nickelodeon owns the rights to these, so of course they're gonna jack up the fucking price.
pizza time.
This sucks. Ah!
My patience is wearing thin. I'm banishing you to a time warp from which you will never return.
That don't sound like Uncle Phil.
Prehistoric.
I think they had this NES. No. This was on Super Nintendo and arcade only. However, there are 3 TMNT games on the NES. There's TMNT, the one that we played a while ago, actually. The first one that lets you play as all 4 turtles in those levels and shit. Then there's the second one, which is actually based off the arcade game, but it's vastly different from the arcade game because it's, you know, on the NES. Then there's the original game, TMNT 3, The Manhattan Project. They have that one. And then there was TMNT Tournament Fighters, which was on both Genesis, SNES, and NES as well. Then they had obviously TMNT 4, which is Turtles in Time. And that was kind of like, wait, am I forgetting one? Nope, that was pretty much it. That's like all they had for those games, because like, I don't think there were any Turtle games that came out on the PS1, and PS2 was more towards the TMNT 2003 era. So, I mean, well, they did have the Game Boy games. There was Game Boy. There was a lot of Game Boy games for the TMNT back in the day. So, there's a lot of that. But yeah, like, I don't know if the TMNT from the like, you know, the 80s versions that we know, I don't know if they had a Game Boy Color game. I think that was at the time. No, maybe they could have. They could have. Because Turtles was, I think the original 80s Turtles was still going until 97, 98, I think. How can you beat a stone soldier with swords? I don't get it. I just love, like, the background design in this game. Like, if you were, like, look at this shit. Look how hot it is back there and everything, you know? It's crazy. Like, they didn't have to put this much effort into an arcade game, but they did. Trapped in a loop.
Forgot the sun cream. Pizza time.
And this is supposed to be Slash, the other turtle, but yeah, it's Mudman or Meltman or whatever his name is. I don't even know if this is a character from the show of anything. I think he might just be for the arcade.
Man, I just had a shower.
Ah.
Big shell. Man, I just had a shower.
He just needed one more hit. That was it. Oh yeah, pixel art. Fucking. This is prime shit. Even like, so obviously when arcade games get put on consoles, there is a lot that's lost to them, right? And with this game, not that much. I mean, you don't get this part in the Super Nintendo. You get the part where they warp in like that. But still, like, it's still beautiful. Like, they didn't sacrifice the graphics when they brought it to the Super Nintendo. Things like that. Again, that's like what amazes me about a lot of this shit. Ow.
My toes. Pizza power.
Hoping that would get more. I think those disc guys are actually more annoying in the Super Nintendo version. Yeah, they're definitely more annoying in the Super Nintendo version because their disc is actually more dangerous.
Ooh, my toes. My toes.
Ah!
Forgot the sun cream. toes! My toes! My toes! Forgot
clowns.
the sunscreen. Oh. Forgot the sun cream.
Sun cream? Who calls it that? It's sunscreen.
Pizza time.
I will admit that that lightning looks a little cheesy. Oh shit! That's right. It's only Bebop and Rocksteady in the Super Nintendo version. Tokar and Razor are here, and yet but they're in the Technodrome level in the Super Nintendo one, which doesn't exist in this game. The Technodrome was an all-new made level for the Super Nintendo. Ugh. So these guys was a lot easier back on Super Nintendo. Then again, this is an arcade game, and arcade games are meant to be tough, so you spend your quarters on them. Yeah, I remember like people not remembering that. Like that's why they're tough, because they need to make money from shit. Oh my god. Down already, damn it. He's dead? Nope, he's almost. Ah. At least they're hitting each other at the same time, too. Oh my god. Oh. He's back to being a baby turtle. He's a little baby turtle. Is that all you can do, you stupid bastard? There we go.
Bury my shell at Wounded Knee.
Ah, yes, Leatherhead on the train. Damn it, I missed the Stone Soldier. Ugh. Oh yeah, that's right, they ride up. So, chat, for you guys, because I can't pause the game and make a poll. What's your favorite TMNT? Like series? Now, I'll tell you mine. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I grew up with the '80s Turtles, because that's what was my thing from my era. I honestly really loved the 2003 TMNT adaptation. Like, that show was really good. Very akin to the comics in a lot of ways. It was a lot darker. It was more mature. And I feel that they made that one for the reason they did was because a lot of people probably still maybe enjoyed the Turtles and wanted a more mature version. So...
Pizza time.
So, you know, I think that's like why they did it as dark as they did, because it was a dark show. Like, they gave characters a lot of development and everything. There we go. Ugh.
I feel seasick.
Can't be seasick on a train. ...2012 version. Oh, that's the one, isn't that the one where Rob Paulson came back and instead of being Raphael, he was Donatello? That was that one, right? I think that also... I think Sean Astin was also in that show, too. Yeah! Well, that was a good one. I like that one.
Oh, goody. Fresh turtle.
Pizza time.
Bitch, you just throw a knife at me? John was Raph? Oh, okay. Because I remember the year that I went to New York Comic Con, the year that that show debuted, they had all 4 turtles there, but they weren't at the con itself, weirdly enough. I thought this was weird. They were at a Toys R Us, the one that used to be in Times Square. I don't know if it's still there or anything like that. But I remember my sister and I, after the con, we went to go explore a little bit. Because the con got overcrowded, so we went to go explore the city. We ended up in Times Square, and we went to the Toys R Us store because I wanted to see like what it was, you know, because I'm a nerd. I collect toys. And they had all the actors there. But the problem was you couldn't go see them because you needed a ticket. You needed to buy it at the con. I'm like, so we got to buy a ticket to go to New York Comic Con. Then we got to buy a ticket at the con to come all the way to Times Square to see these actors? Weird.
Neon Night Riders.
Yeah. Anybody else pissed off in 2020 that that we didn't have this future? God, this is like terrifying when that gap happens. God. Fucking a-holes, man. Well, that little bastard's back. But yeah, like the Super Nintendo version was a little bit different than this because we got this kind of an area at the end, but they used that Mode 7 chip to really do the 3D shit. Fucking awesome, man. Great level. Great soundtrack, too. TMNT in time has one of the best soundtracks, I think.
Let's kick shell. Pizza time. the wrath of Super Krang.
Ah! Yeah, I never had the Krang figure when I was a kid, like his body. My buddy Luke did, and I was always jealous that he had it. But I had a figure of Krang, like himself, when he was in that little like walking chair. I had that as a kid. I think I was more interested in just collecting all the versions of the Turtles that were out there, though, because I didn't really have a lot of the enemy figures. Like I had a decent, like a small amount, you know, but not like a huge collection of them. It was always really just the Turtles that I was interested in. I don't even. I'm trying to think. Did I even have a Shredder figure? I think I maybe had one Shredder figure, maybe. Damn, this guy doesn't fucking die.
Magic shell.
There we go.
You're going to pay.
Cowabunga.
Starbase, where no turtle has gone before.
2001 AD. Wait, hey, we're getting kind of close to that. I love these little dudes. They still like mini sonic booms. Oh, that's right. This stage actually has a bigger city in the back, where before it doesn't have that. It just has the red ground. That's it. Little bastards.
Pizza power!
Let's go. Clear him out. Oh, I wish I could have saved it for that. Oh yeah, the turtle van. Let's go. I had that too. That was one of my favorite ones. Even though the figures didn't really fit in them, unfortunately, from what I remember. But it was really still cool to have. Or at least some of the figures didn't fit in. I think like the main turtle ones that they had that weren't those transforming turtles. I think those fit in there. Like the turtles that came with like the little mutagen canister, they came with ninja stars, and they came with like the spikes for their fists and stuff, and obviously their respective weapons. Hard to take him seriously when he's in a Speedo. Ah! Asshole wasn't even on screen. This is me getting electrocuted by everything lately. Marge gets electrocuted. The turtles get electrocuted. Get on screen so I can fucking kill you, you bitch.
Pizza time! Now I'm too cool! Now I'm too cool!
Bullshit.
Now I'm too cool!
Yeah, this is what the level looks like in the background at the beginning instead of having a city.
Pizza power!
There we go. I was gonna say, what the hell's making that noise?
Ooh, I feel seasick.
Yeah. You shellheads are dead. I'm trapped.
Ugh.
I'm trapped.
You little bastards.
Anyone got a pin? I'm trapped. Anyone got a pin?
Let's crush me. Oh, normally he like does the crush move. I don't know if he does it in this version. It's been a while since I played the arcade.
Anyone got a pin? I'm trapped. Anyone got a pin?
He's almost dead.
Electric shell.
Anyone got a pin?
There we go.
That hole's our way home. Let's go.
Yeah, the android body, I mean, thankfully, that was the only time we ever saw it was there. He never got a,
Technodrome. The final shell
I mean, like,
shock.
sometimes, like, there was, like, the Utrom that were inside, the Shredder and shit like that, you know? Oh, this battle's fucking tough.
Turbo Soup, my favorite.
Ugh. I prefer him in the Super Nintendo version. Ah! Hadouken! He's honestly kind of easy. Oof. I actually have when they did that big crossover a few years ago, the TMNT meet the Power Rangers. I actually have the Green Ranger Shredder helmet. Interesting story behind that. I saw
Here's my battle.
I saw that Jason David Frank, when he was still alive, got gifted one, and he shouted out the guy who made it. And so I contacted that guy who made it, not thinking, oh, I'm not gonna get it. You know, it is what it is, right? Not gonna be able to get it or whatever. And then what do you call it there? I reached out to him. He's like, yeah, dude, I'd love to make you one and everything. You know, like, let's do it. And so I got the second one, and he even told me, he goes, dude, honestly, I think this one's better than the one that I gave JDF. And I'm like, really? And he's like, I really improved a lot and everything. And I was like, dude, that first one was really fucking great, though. He's like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And he's been my helmet guy ever since. He makes all my Power Ranger helmets. But I think he did make a second one for JDF, if I remember correctly. Oh. Okay, that worked. He just like literally went over the edge after he knocked me back. All right. Oh, there goes Raph. He's dead. Dude, I always loved the blimp that they had. I never got it as a toy, but I thought that was one of the coolest fucking things that they had in that show. I just love the fact that shows like these really, I mean, obviously they were made to sell toys, but they also just really made cool vehicles. Like if you look at things like Street Sharks, look at all the fucking vehicles that were in that show and how cool they were. TMNT, same fucking thing. I'm still really pissed that the Turtles, the last Ronin movie got canceled because they're really trying to start a new universe for the Turtles in live action form, and they didn't want it to be an R rating. It's like, bro, I know Turtles are popular with kids now, and I'm glad that it still is, but do it for the fucking adults. People would kill to fucking see that. And it's all quiet on the Western Front on the last Ronin video game, too. So I'm a little concerned about that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, man.
3 a.m.
Now they say the name? What? Did anything change when you do it the second time around? Probably not. Oh, wow. I got 500 kills during this time. Cool. There's way more enemies on screen, but yeah. Let's just close that out. Just chatting stream. Perfect. All right. Turn some tunes on. Oh, man. That was great, though. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, New Game Plus. Maybe there was. Maybe it was. Never know. But yeah, man, like, you know, arcade games are just great. You know, a lot of people, I think, dismiss them, but I think that even if they're very old ones and not that great, I think it's like a charm to it. Like, it's a detriment of its time. And I remember, like, when I was at Galloping Ghost Arcade, I was playing like arcade machines from like the 70s and 80s, and I wish I could have, like, one of the ones I wanted to include was Operation Wolf in this top 10 list, but the problem is Operation Wolf I only ever played at my cousin's house, and eventually I owned it. It's on the shelf back there. And then, like, what had happened was, I was, you know, searching through the place, and then I see Operation Wolf as an arcade machine, and I'm like, I didn't know this was an arcade machine. Like, I was blown away, right? I was blown away. And it just blew my mind that was there, and I had to stop and play it. And it was funny enough, it was actually right next to the Code Veronica arcade machine and right across from the X-Men arcade machine, which is really funny. So, yeah, it was insane, man. It was really quite a thing to see that there. But again, I played more Operation Wolf on the NES. Something like Tumble Pop, which I only played once, stuck with me because I never saw it again. But Operation Wolf, I've been playing since the NES, so that's why the choices were a little bit different there. But you know, I really hope that you guys had fun with this tonight. Thank you all for coming by. It was really great. I almost didn't stream tonight, but I'm glad I did. But we're going to be back later because it's now 3:30 in the morning. We're going to be back tonight, and we're going to stream Breath of Fire 3 still. We're going to continue that onwards. And yeah, if you guys like what you saw here, obviously, you can go back and watch it in case you missed it. But I'm also going to probably put this up as a video on the channel for the top 10 games. So yeah. So that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. Greatly appreciate it. And I'll see y'all next time. Take care. Have a good one.